Okay, I think let's get started. There's still some opportunity for those who are still busy joining us to join us. So a very warm welcome to everyone, or a very cold welcome, because I see the weather is getting on the colder side nowadays. I hope everyone is doing well and everyone had a great voting day yesterday. Welcome to our JA Solar presentation. Um, we have Daniel here, which is the head of sales for JA in the Southern Africa regions. And then I myself and Francois, I look after the technical side of things here at Menlo Electric. Once again, welcome. Um, and please enjoy the presentation. We will just play a quick introduction video on what and who JA is. After that, Daniel will take over and take you through the body of the presentation. Once again, please do not hesitate to ask any questions on using the chat interface. We will happily assist those questions. We will either answer them live or just answer them in the chat box as a response. Thank you, and please enjoy.
From the native land of China to all corners of the world. From the seaside to the mountain tops. From the peaceful countryside to the bustling city. JA Solar is dedicated to the great cause of energy transition and innovation, a great journey that never stops. Driven by the concept of customer first and mutual value, JA Solar continues forging ahead. Dreams give us the power to imagine. Reality keeps us grounded, anchored in the present era and focusing on high-quality green development. JA Solar aims to unbundle the majesty of sunlight emanating in the universe and shapes this infinite energy into a road of new greatness by repurposing it for a higher calling. Beginning in 2005 when it was established, accelerating in 2007 when it was listed on the Nasdaq Stock Exchange in the US, and maturing in 2019 when it successfully relisted on the Shenzhen A-Shares Exchange. JA Solar has written a magnificent history through the powerful currents of those times. Throughout this journey, JA Solar has remained true to its sacred mission: develop solar power to benefit the entire human race, standing bravely on the tide and pressing ahead on firm footing. After steadily developing and improving over more than a decade, JA Solar has continued to build and perfect an integrated manufacturing chain covering silicon wafers, cells, modules, and power plants, all in an effort to achieve a vertical integration of manufacturing and marketing service systems, from the front-end products to the back-end power generation solutions. Innovation promotes advancement. Excellence produces miracles. With insight sharpened by the rapid fluctuations in the global PV market and adaptability forged by the ever-changing customer demand, JA Solar consistently gets its teams that are never satisfied to pull together and realize a road to stardom in the PV industry. Consistent quality upgrades, interminable cost reduction efforts, and effective process improvements have been the core of our efforts. JA Solar plays an active role in the digital and intellectualized transformation and upgrading, and strives to build a dual mode of intelligent manufacturing and intelligent operation by adopting such advanced technologies as big data, cloud computing, and artificial intelligence, which help to realize intelligent operation and maintenance management and quality control in the production stage, and therefore greatly enhances the security, smartness, reliability, and cost-effectiveness of the operation and maintenance of the solar power station during application stage. On this great journey of bringing grid parity across the PV industry, JA Solar produces premium cells, premium modules, and has developed an independent innovation mechanism by making continuous investment in R&D, By the end of 2020, JA Solar had been issued more than 897 patents based on its leading-edge R&D, maintaining a leading role in driving tremendous development in solar PV technology. On the foundation of leading PARC cell technology, JA Solar continuously optimizes module types and their component materials in order to keep improving product performance and bring down the overall LCOE for the entire value chain. The next generation of products coming out of R&D are exciting and will further contribute to the industry development. JA Solar's technology roadmap has attached great importance to perfecting the N-type solar cell, whose average conversion efficiency in mass production is estimated to exceed 25%. By the end of 2020 fiscal year, JA Solar's cumulative solar module shipments exceeded 63 gigawatt, guaranteeing highly reliable components in power plants with different applications, therefore achieving enhanced financial returns for the power station owners. From China to the world, JA Solar is focused on bringing more light and hope to the entire human race, anchored in its foundation to build a road to prosperity within and beyond the borders. For more than 10 years, JA Solar has explored and succeeded to expand the overseas market, establish a global network of support, distribution, and world-class technical service. Presently, JA Solar manages 13 foreign sales corporations across the globe. Our high-quality products have been sold to more than 135 countries and regions, with overseas shipments accounting for nearly 70% of our overall sales. JA Solar's module shipments rank first class perennially all over the world. JA Solar maintains steady and responsible growth in its global market share. As a reward for its many years of hard work, JA Solar has been on the list of Fortune China 500 and Global Top 500 New Energy Enterprises for many consecutive years. JA Solar has won many awards from respectable international authorities, such as International Leading Brand PV Module Bankability, Global Tier 1 PV Module Supplier, Europe Top Brand PV Modules. These validate JA Solar as the world's leader in the core technology and quality of PV products. We toil and sweat, we smile and persevere. We remain true to our original aspiration and keep our mission firmly in mind. We lay a road of sincerity that goes deep into our customer's heart. JA Solar, core value of putting customers first and continuously improving its service, tirelessly enhancing its quality, and seeking more sustainable production. Every technical process, every finished product, and lot that ships out all bring out the best in JA Solar and its goal of pursuing ingenuity, modesty, and excellence. Driven by a professional attitude of zero tolerance to quality defects, JA Solar carries out real-time and full process inspection on module production, and naturally its module products are accredited by the global certification and accreditation authorities to guarantee zero defects and long-run reliability. JA Solar is focused not only on the successful project-by-project supply, but also on the total life cycle of product, which is supported by its professional capability matrix. Today, in order to grasp the opportunities of the new PV era, JA Solar keeps an open mind and maintains a resolutely international outlook, constantly improving the sales and service network for the global market. JA Solar has played a large part in such monumental large-scale ground-mounted solar power projects as China Datong Photovoltaic Top Runner Power Demonstration Project, China Qinghai UHV Yellow River Hydropower Project, Dubai Electricity and Water Authority, US Utah, Pakistan, Punjab, etc. And also played a big role in the world-famous landmarks such as China Beijing's Daxing International Airport, Marina Bay Sands Singapore, the Swedish Royal Palace, Audi Hungary factory, and many others. JA Solar has established strategic partnerships with many top enterprises in the world, while its number of customers across the globe has been over 33,000. JA Solar is fully aware that a company mission is not only to strive to pursue its economic growth, but also tirelessly try its best to meet its social responsibility obligations as well. Ever since its foundation, JA Solar, filled with gratitude, has been playing an active role in social and public welfare causes, endeavoring to provide green impetus for the happiness of more people. Time does not stand still and is the only non-renewable resource. Standing at the starting point of a new era, JA Solar will undertake 5 development strategies: market globalization, product value realization, capital securitization, management digitalization, enterprise platformatization, and work with business partners to build an ecosystem of intergrowth, regeneration, and symbiosis. JA Solar is committed to the cause of benefiting the whole world with this green energy source. What will the future hold? Standing firmly on the tide of energy revolution, JA Solar will adhere to the course of put customers first, respect shareholders' interests, let our employees grow, have keen insight into the ever-changing world situation, and keep pace with time along the grand journey of globalization. Pull together and strive forward dreams and the great vision. Being a great enterprise, the green mission, develop solar power to benefit the entire human race. Harvest the sunshine. JA Solar.
Good morning, everyone. Francois, thank you very much for the introduction, and thank you very much for the Menlo Academy team for setting up this webinar. We are very happy to be here. And a warm welcome to all of our attendees. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Firstly, my name is Daniel Pasca. I'm the head of sales for Southern and East Africa for JA Solar, based in Johannesburg. Today, we're going to be doing a presentation related to energy efficiency around our new module technology, a bit of a roadmap to see what our core products are and the product value we offer towards our modules itself. So without any further ado, we're going to jump right in. So JA Solar is a global leader in PV module technology. We were founded in May 2005. In 2007, we were listed on the Nasdaq Stock Exchange, and subsequently in 2019, we were listed on the Shenzhen Stock Exchange. As of Q4 2023, we had 32,591 employees globally, with about a 16% market share at the end of 2023. We're also listed as a Fortune China 500 company and a Global 500 new enterprise company. So JA Solar's focus is not purely on module production. While it is our main core product, we do have capacity in ingots, wafers, cells, as well as a financing and construction arm for larger power plants inside of China. The breakdown you can see below is purely our manufacturing process across regions. So we manufacture wafers, ingots, cells, and then modules. We have about 14 production bases globally, with our newest addition being in Arizona, the States, due to their sort of specific requirements around cell technology. JA Solar strives on customer satisfaction. We are really deep in terms of our core values, mottos, missions, and visions for the company, really striving to build a global brand that instills awareness and really develops global markets in terms of PV advancements. So you'll see on the slide now, we have a basic milestone production for technological advancements. So JA was one of the first companies to patent Bison technology for new N-type modules. We were also one of the companies to firstly produce Perkium P-type technology to achieve a 20.3% efficiency. Obviously, that was in the early days of JA Solar, so technology has increased quite dramatically over the years. with modules reaching up to about a 26% efficiency currently. So we have a global presence, as stated. As you can see here, location of warehouses are across the globe, with our location of sales subsidies being globally. We are present in 135 countries currently, with the essential share per region on your right-hand side. Africa only contributes to quite a small percentage, but with the current landscape and market, the development of Africa seems to be increasing quite dramatically. I mean, we're expecting a 12 gigawatt capacity across Africa this year alone. So it's a very exciting time to be in the renewable space in Africa itself. So JA Solar is a AAA bankability module rated company. Previously, in the earlier days of JA, a tier rating was the preferred categorization for module manufacturers. Tier rating is not really become so relevant anymore. The requirements for a module manufacturer to become a tier 1 rated company is they would need to have installed 5 1 megawatt projects in a 3-year span. So it's quite low in terms of, global standard, which is why we prefer, a bankability rating to show that we are here, we are strong, and we will be here, for the long foreseeable future. So next, we're going to move into a bit of a module definition section, just to give a basic understanding of how module classifications work. So there's 2 types of modules available from JA. One is a standard monofacial module that has a back sheet. The other one is a bifacial, essentially double glass or glass on glass. Typically, what happens is the standard P-type range is a back sheet based module. We do offer it in a bifacial categorization as well. But for the newer technology, N-type technology, all our modules have been standardized to a bifacial or glass on glass module. So the module consists of cells, a frame, obviously the cable connectors, QC4 or MC4 back-based connectors, and a junction box. And obviously on P-type, our standardization is a back sheet, but with N-type, it'll be a glass module. So the solar cells, we have various different pattern designs for the module. As technology improves, we implement new designs. So there's rectangular modules, square modules, gapless, gapless cells, and it really depends on how the cell pattern is configured to get the best efficiency out the cell itself. Here you can see just a standard list of the basic components of any solar module. So obviously the cells, front glass, back glass on bifacial. Back sheet is only on a P-type. The frame is a standardized aluminum frame. Encapsulation of the glass itself. How the cells, glass, back sheet are all compressed in the module. Junction box is standard across the modules, same as diodes and cables. Connectors, like I said, we can offer QC4 or MC4. There's obviously a silicone component. The ribbons itself is based on the cell layout. And obviously we have a standard label that has a serial number which can be scanned for authentication. So basic layout of modules. Before 2021, we had sort of a polysilicon range, which has been discontinued across industry. The issue is polysilicon is now more expensive than monosilicon in development of modules and cells itself. As you can see from 2012, we mass produced our PERC technology, Persium cell-based technology. which has still been mainstream from 2015 until today, which is our standard P-type range. From 2022, as an industry leader, TOPCon and N-type technology was brought into mass production. Price points have never really been, let's say, competitive enough for N-type until this point in time. N-type had a very specific market segment, which is now being updated due to the market demand. So currently, P-type and N-type are still prominent, but N-type is definitely going to be the mainstream product in the near future. There is production capacity for tandem cells and newer technology and cell technology, so it is something to look out for. But I will discuss that in the roadmap a little bit later. So JA Solar has a forecast roadmap for technology implementation up to 2026 and further. With our 2024 range, the Deep Blue 3 and Deep Blue 4 are based on our sort of mainstream technologies. Our Deep Blue 4 is our N-type, with Deep Blue 3 being our standard P-type technology. As you can see, the trend is definitely inclining more to a N-type production capacity, with HJT technology being very prevalent in the near future. You know, from 2026 onwards, there's going to be a focus on newer technology, tandem cell technology. But currently, there's always going to be a transition period, same as from poly to mono, from P-type to N-type, and eventually from N-type to tandem cell technology. Here you can see our mainstream products offered in 2024. So we do have quite a large variety in terms of cell types, number of cells, and power classes available. Typically, what you'll see standardized for the South African market is a 72-cell module, from 545, for example, all the way up to a 565, 570. That's more inclined for the local market. JA Solar did have a 72S20, which was a 460-watt module, but the demand globally has actually declined, so it's a module we no longer offer. Instead of that, we do have a 54-cell technology, which can essentially go up to about a 460-watt module itself, with a better efficiency of up to 23%. As you can see, we do have TOPCon modules available with a power class of up to 635, with the introduction of a new 700-watt module, but it will only be available commercially out of production probably later in the year, let's say Q4 of this year. So based on power distribution, we have our P-type technology on the left-hand side, which is the Deep Blue 3.0 series. Like I said, 555 watts, 550, 575, 565. Typically, what happens in the production capacity is bifacial modules are always about a 5-watt lower power output class than the standard single glass, based on P-type technology. So you can see on the left-hand side, the 72S30, 555 versus the 72D30, which is bifacial 550. So there's always going to be a slight powered variation between single glass and double glass modules. When we're considering the N-type modules, we only have 2 power classes that we can offer a backsheet based module on, which is the 54 cell and the 60 cell. But they are also more for residential inquiries. We do have our larger power classes from 585, 590, all the way up to 630, 635. And like I said, with the introduction of our new 700-watt module, that will be commercially available later on in the year. Here you can see just our cell manufacturing bases in China currently, and Vietnam. So you can see each plant has about, a 10 to 20, 26 gigawatt production annually. It's something that we've worked quite hard on to achieve. it's something that will continue to grow over the years as the demand for module capacity already increases. But I mean, if you're considering a 26 gigawatt production capacity on just one plant, it's quite significant. Here you can see just a further breakdown of module production per region. Like you can see here are various different manufacturing plants, with the US a 2 gigawatt plant being our newest addition to our portfolio at this stage. So next we're going to have a look at our JA core products. A lot of questions we get around our module technology is, how do you classify the module code? So here we're going to just do a quick breakdown. It's quite straightforward in reality. So the JA stands for JA Solar. Silicon type is M for monocrystalline. Like I said, polycrystalline is a module type we do not manufacture anymore. The 54, 72, 60, 66, 78 are all the cell numbers classified for the module itself. S or D would refer to the single glass, which is P-type backsheet, or double glass is bifacial, typically N-type, with selected P-types. The 40 classifies as the, let's say, characteristic code for the module itself. We have a 30 range, 31, 40, 41, 42, 45 range. This just allows us to link it back to our Deep Blue 3, Deep Blue 4, Deep Blue 4.5, for example. After that, power class is quite standard, 430 to 555, and obviously with the other module power classes, let's say a 545 to 570. And the final cell type classification is what really confuses a lot of our inquiries, let's say. We have a standard MR, which is a square type cell, a GR, which is more of a gapless technology cell. LR, which is our mainstream newer technology, has a rectangular cell, smaller gaps for increased efficiency. And finally, HB would be regarded as our new tandem technology. On the cell type classification, there's always going to be a letter with a B or a R. The R refers to our standard monofacial range, and the B will always refer to bifacial. So going into our P-type range, the Deep Blue 3.0 series, we have various different components that make up cell efficiency, and with that we can offer sort of a higher reliability on our modules itself. So one of them is PerChem technology, which is our standard PERC cell, which we have one of the first patents for. Upgraded size is the module cell size itself. So industry standard typically is in the range of a M10 wafer, which is 182 or let's say 188 as a highest power class. Multiple busbar technology is a standard across our modules, as well as half-cut cells. This allows us to have high efficiency while reducing shading issues on the module itself. Previous technology, if there's a certain cell range that's covered by shading, you lose the entire cell. With half cell technology, we can still generate based on shading profiles for the module itself. It obviously will be reduced, but at least the module will still be operational. Deep Blue series. So we have a standard Deep Blue Series 3 for South African context. Our flagship product would be the 72 S30 range. MR is still available, but it's not a predominantly produced module due to the better efficiencies we're getting on the LR range. However, the power class is slightly higher. So as a standard P-type 72 S30 range, you're limited to about a 555 watt maximum power output. With our newer LR technology, we can achieve already a 570 watt. With preliminary outputs about a 575, 580 at the moment. What we've also typically seen is a better adoption for these type of modules in the local market. Inverter manufacturers has always sort of been a step behind module manufacturers in terms of voltage matching, But currently, it seems the inverter manufacturers have stepped up, and it's allowing us to actually use these 65-watt modules on residential installations as well now. Here you can just see a standard product comparison between our two technologies, the LR and the MR range. The module itself is slightly longer, having a 2.3 meter versus 2.2 meter range. However, you do get the extra power output. Voltage is very similar, only a slight increase, same as on the amperage. Portrait rows is exactly the same, such as the bracketed bracketed mounting requirement. String length has remained unchanged as well. However, we do see a cheaper balance of system per watt, as well as a better LCOE on the newer modules itself. Next, we're going to dive into the N-type module range. So N-type uses a Bison technology, which is a patent doping mechanism by JA. We have higher cell density technology, which gives us better efficiency and a lower temperature coefficient for the modules itself. So meaning our modules can produce at a better efficiency in lower and higher temperature ratings in comparison to the P-type modules. Also, because the N-type is a only glass-on-glass module, we do have a much lower degradation rate, and we can offer longer warranties, up to 30 years on N-type modules in comparison to 20 years on P-type. So here you can see our standard N-type offering currently. Like I said, we do have an alternative to our old 72 S20 450, 460 watt module, being a 54 cell. We have a 60 cell, 66 cell, 72, and then obviously the classification would be 72 D40s or 72 D45s as example, just to achieve the higher power classes. Typically, we don't offer the 54 cell to the South African market. As I said earlier, we can install these larger 565s on a residential basis. However, as bifacial technology, has a backsheet light refraction that can increase efficiency, it's not recommended that bifacial is typically used on a rooftop installation. It's more for ground mount. And with a specific ground covering, it can really increase the effectiveness on larger plants, making it a much better solution for utility and commercial scale projects. Here you can see just the standard classification rating based on the different products offered. So the 72D40 is our newer range in terms of N-type, such as the 66D42 as well, in comparison to our standard 182 72 millimeter cell. As you can see, the balance of system and LCOE are the most important factors essentially on this, with the lowest offering across the module types. String length has been reduced on certain modules, but it's still within an acceptable range. Here's just a further classification on the 600 plus watt modules. As you can see, 635, 630, 615 is our sort of standard power output class at the moment. But again, the biggest factors is the balance of system and LCOE when considering plant design. In addition to our N-type and P-type offering, we have released two new classifications for modules, one being our Sky Blue and the other one being Ocean Blue higher power modules. Ocean Blue and Sky Blue are specifically designed around floating power plants, which we've obviously seen a larger uptake in recent years due to land restraints. So these modules have a specific water rating, so they can be situated closer to sea level and shoreline, so there's no salt degradation factors or mist degradation factors that come into play with these modules itself. They do come at a higher premium, obviously because there's better safeguards in place and better technology used in terms of protection against water and salt water, but they are something that is becoming more prevalent in the market at this stage. Here you can see just a classification of our 4 higher power classes in the Deep Blue N-type series. 66D42, 72D40, 66D45, and our sort of largest current production module is a 72D42. So typically for utility plants, these are the only 4 modules offered, as obviously for utility, it does make better sense to use a larger format power class module at this stage. Going into our JA product value. So this is based on essentially our N-type offerings. JA Solar has adopted a 182 by 199 millimeter rectangular wafer for all of our N-type offerings, which is the newer technology we have. We've standardized with 2 other module manufacturers based on this cell size. We are not going to be moving forward on a 210 millimeter cell, as it's something that previously we tried to be a bit more cautious on. We've seen quite a few issues in the local market and international market using a 210 millimeter wafer in terms of micro cracks, in terms of storage issues. So it's not always the better option to go for the largest module available on the market. It really comes down to reliability, bankability, track record of the module itself, and as well as the LCOE on the module. So the N-type module obviously is this one specifically is a 72D42 up to a 630 watt with a module efficiency of 22.8. Sometimes we do get a lot of questions around why is your module efficiency sort of lower than other manufacturers. It's also another point that JA Solar is more on the conservative side in terms of releasing data and information. 22.8% is a tested, proven module efficiency, based on a standard across production. I mean, we can also boast, let's say, a 25, 26 module percent efficiency, but it's not the reality in actual physical, realistic market installations. So we would prefer to have a conservative approach rather than say, 26% and it's not achieved on site. Next, you can see is just a standard cell encapsulation for our new Bison technology. So we do have a front surface cell, which has a passive transmitter, followed by a selective emitter encapsulated in the middle. The N-type substrate is used this Bison doping technology, which is let's say the more prominent N-type doping mechanism in the market at the moment. It's then followed by a passive contact and the rear a super multi-buzz bar, let's say cell backing, and that really encapsulates the cell. Each cell is then spot tested in the production, be it either flash testing to get the cell efficiency itself as a standard test condition. So a nominal testing condition will give us a 26% efficiency on the module itself, but realistically in standard test conditions, we are achieving 23%, let's say 22, 23% on the modules itself. With our N-type technology, the LR and LB becomes very prevalent now in this section. Rectangular wafers are now 182 by 199, which as I stated, is a standard, industry standard across 3 of the big manufacturers. Each cell is half cut to protect against, shading issues, and it allows us to have a much better efficiency across the module itself without losing any cells due to dirt or hotspot issues or typically essentially any shading problems. With our new N-type technology, we have implemented a super multi-buzz bar. So there's about 16 buzz bars per module, which has increased quite drastically from the 11 buzz bars in previous technologies. Here you can see a classification breakdown how the cell technology is actually split. So we start with a square 199 by 182 millimeter cell, which is then half cut and used in the various module productions. So for our flagship, let's say 72D42, the width of the cell still remains the same at 182, but the cell is cut into equal 99.5 millimeter cells itself. And then you can see below that the cell technology is split differently on the different power classes. Sorry, apologies for that. It's not the best slide to see, but with the significance of cell technology being a constant adapting mechanism in the market, it really helps a company like JA to standardize on a cell technology. And that's why us and two other suppliers have standardized on this specific 182 by 199 for the larger module format. It allows us to have a full track record. It allows us to have a full integration of cells available. So cells can be interchangeable across our productions lines if needed. It also allows us to have a standardization across module sizes without impacting, let's say, larger formats for micro cracks. It also allows us to have a lower cost integration for larger scale projects. Following that, reliability is obviously the big point in terms of modules. If you install a module, you want to make sure that module, at least lasts the 25 to 30-year warranty spec. And it's something that we do, extensive international testing on based on TEV, UL standards. And we do have a lot of third-party testing mechanisms in place as well based on the module itself. This does allow us to have a much better degradation on the modules, and it allows us to have an excellent resistance to low temperatures and high temperatures across our technology portfolio itself as well. Coming back to the product certification, obviously we have multiple certification based on each region with IEC, TUV, UL. So we are internationally, accredited across different regions based on essentially every testing mechanism you can imagine. Salt water, mist, let's say, our connectors, our cabling, our frame specifications. Everything has got a international certification behind it. So if any of that information is needed, we'll be happy to share the certification as well. So here you can just see a customer value analysis based on our Deep Blue Pro series, which is our N-type versus our P-type technologies. So just on our N-type, we've seen a lower balance of system reduction of up to 4.5% on projects, as well as a lower LCOE up to 6% on projects. And obviously, when you're considering larger project installations, LCOE is the mechanism to reach your bottom line. The lower your LCOE, obviously, the better profitability is on the project itself. If you're considering our Deep Blue Pro series versus a original N-type from another module manufacturer, we've still seen a better balance of system reduction up to 2.8%, as well as a lower LCE of up to 1.6% in comparison to our closest competitor. Following that, here's just a breakdown of a specific project where a comparison was done based on different technologies. So you can see the power class rating is 585, 585, 615, and 630, using the standard 1P tracker across the project and inverter of a 320 kilowatt peak inverter itself. You can see on the left-hand side, the LCOE and the balance of system cost was much better in comparison to using standard, let's say, 182 N-type cells from other manufacturers. And that's the case across all of the test scenarios we've done. whether it being ground mount or a tracker system itself. Here you can also see a CNI rooftop and a residential rooftop breakdown. So it's the same scenario. We've seen much better results on our 635 watt modules in comparison to other 182 millimeter cells across the market. As I said earlier, for rooftop installations, even though you are seeing a better LCOE and better balance of systems, it's not the recommended module because there still is a price premium linked to N-type. So while we have seen, better efficiencies and better cost reductions, it still doesn't justify for residential to input a bifacial N-type module at this stage. As technology improves and costs reduce, which they have been quite significantly, we will see a general, let's say, transition period to only N-type. But by then, the price factor will be negligible in terms of what you're actually saving on LCOE and balance of systems. Here's just an integration of the 182 by 199 millimeter cells. So we have, like I said, a standard wafer size, which is cut into 5 various different module offerings currently. And this will be sort of a standard for the near future, with the exception of the large of 700 to 720 watt module implemented later on in the year. And that's the end of my presentation at the moment. If there is any questions, I'll be happy to address after Francois' presentation.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for the presentation, Daniel. I feel like, as much as panels are the most important part of a solar system, we tend to just forget about the technologies and forget about the ingenuity and everything else that goes into them. So thank you for that detailed presentation, just so we can see exactly how these panels work and what makes them different.
Sure.
So just from my side, a quick company presentation from the Menlo side. Once again, keep those questions coming. We will, of course, have a moment at the end. Daniel will answer the questions that we will not be able to answer. And of course, if there is anything at a later stage, please do not hesitate to reach out to us and we will happily answer you. So just to go through, who are we? So we are a leading solar distributor of modules, inverters, batteries, and accessories, serving over 300 customers in over 40 countries every month. We work directly with the manufacturers, and we can see some brands, of course, one of them being JA Today. We are an international PV distributor, so we are international. We have got local presentations in various different countries. Of course, focusing on South Africa, we do have local presentation in South Africa, such as myself. We also have a sales team, we have logistics teams, and we have local warehousing in South Africa. We have our local warehouses in Johannesburg, in Durban, and in Cape Town. So, of course, if you want any more information on this and you want to see what we stock, please, once again, do not hesitate to reach out to us. As we said, we do have local warehousing in South Africa, and as we also said, we are an international company, so we have local presence in various different countries. We do service the Southern African area, and then we have teams in the MENA region, and then, of course, right through Europe. We do offer logistics, so should you need something transported or deliveries, then of course we can arrange that for you, whether that be in South Africa or one in the Southern African countries, we can happily assist. We work with trusted and local carriers to offer you a wide range of delivery options. And of course, these solutions are customized. We can also do the storage of the goods and deliveries. We have sold over 900 megawatts of equipment in 2023. As we said before, we cover over 40 markets, especially in Africa. We have over 11,000 orders completed in 2023, over 15 logistics hubs in the EMEA region, so that is Africa and then the north of Africa. 75 plus megawatts of PV components shipped monthly, and we have over 170 staff members in the Menlo team. We then also have our Solar to Share Collective, which is a CSR collective in which we donate free PV installations to healthcare, educational, and other institutions. So far, we have done 15 solar stations in 7 different countries, 395 kilowatts of installed capacity, 10 partners, over 1,000 photovoltaic panels installed, over 12,000 tons of CO2 saved, and over a 50% reduction in energy costs. So as we said, this is a CSR collective. So this is free installations that we give to those that require it. So if you are interested in joining this, if you are interested in donating your services to this collective, please do not hesitate to reach out to the email address listed here. Of course, you can take a look at the recording at another time to come back and take a look at the email address. We will happily talk with you and see how we can do these CSR collectives and these charity things together. Then just to touch on our product offering, of course, we then offer the solar panels, the inverters, the batteries, and cables. So just to focus on the batteries and inverters, on our residential offerings, we have 6 to 10 kilowatt single-phase inverters. On our 3-phase offerings, we've got 12 to 30 kilowatt offerings. All our inverters run on high voltage, so that gives us increased efficiencies, reduced installation times, reduced cost to installation, and just smaller cables. And all of our solutions are plug and play. We know how important it is for you and how important time is on site, and you do not want to be hassling and struggling with the different communication protocols and settings and so on. So we specifically chose products that are not only reliable, but also easy to install. Then on the commercial inverter range, we have 30 kilowatts and up. So whether it is a commercial or industrial installation or even utility scale, we can service all of those. So once again, if you want more information on this, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. Then touching down on the panels and accessories. So Daniel has already taken us through the JA Solar offering. More details in what wattage and what the different P types and N types are, which I think is very important, and especially that bit closer to the end, I found very informative. P type being still the better option currently for rooftop, residential, and then N type being your better offering for commercial. It's good to know these things. Monofacial and bifacial panels, of course, as he has discussed that as well. Then we also have Inco solar cables, 6 millimeter squared cables. They are tinned copper conductors, and we have them available in black and red, of course, to just finish off your solar installation. Once again, for availability, don't hesitate to reach out to our sales team, and they will happily assist you with the availability in the different warehouses, of course, with pricing as well. Then just to finish off, we have our Menlo Academy, which is where you find yourself in today. So we at Menlo offer these sessions to educate the installers and the resellers on these various different products and technologies and just being updated in the market. We have 2 more events available for the next month. So the 13th of June and the 27th of June. Please do sign up to those and stay up to date with these various different technologies. Of course, you can also take a look at our website, and the website will also have the information of when these next trainings will be available. Or you can reach out once again to us and we will happily assist you. And that is the end of my short presentation. Please, once again, if you do have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out. I see we had one question that popped up that was already answered. Once again, if you maybe remember something at a later stage that you would want to ask, do not hesitate to reach out to any of the Menlo team here in South Africa. We will happily assist you with any questions further. I think we will give it maybe a minute or two for any questions that comes through. Other than that, once again, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us today. We hope you have a wonderful further day and lots of sun hours. Thank you. Okay, so we're still giving it some moment for the Q&As. So the one question we had was, when will the N-types be available for the SA market? And Daniel has responded that the N-types are already commercially available and there's already projects, utility or larger CNI projects in SA using the N-type JA panels. So they are already available. So once again, have a look out, and if you have any questions, please reach out. Yes, Daniel.
Yeah, sorry if I can just add to that. So obviously it depends on the market demand. As I stated earlier, N-type technology is really only prevalent for larger CNI or ground mount utility projects. Really because of the price factor. It is a factor that is going to be reduced as time goes on. We've already seen a massive reduction from last year to this year in N-type technology. But as I said, it's already a module which has quite a significant production capacity for JA. More than 60% of our module capacity is now N-type. And it'll continue to grow like that until the transition period is essentially done and older P-type is phased out.
Thank you for that clarification, Daniel. Okay, I think if there's no other further questions, once again, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. Please do not hesitate to reach out should you have any further questions, and have a lovely day further.
Perfect. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.